Have you ever seen a mecha that looks more like a villain than the actual villains? Sky Demon Dragon Gaiking, a robot that fuses elements of battleships, dinosaurs, and skeletons, exuding a kind of rugged, unconventional beauty. Born in 1976, it's much older than many of the viewers watching this video. Toei even produced an animated remake in 2005, and then in 2026, Motion Toys created a brand new, masterfully crafted Gaiking as a product of the golden age of the super robot genre. In today's episode, let's take a few minutes to get to know this bizarrely designed fiery junk. The Gaiking from 1976 is traditional, solid, and fortress-like, an embodiment of strength and protection. The new Gaiking from 2005 is fantastical and adventurous, embodying the passionate growth of youth. The new version of the mecha uses the remake as its foundation, incorporating a large number of new design elements, commonly referred to as modifications, which is quite necessary. I think it's fair to call the design bizarre, otherwise everyone wouldn't always be fixated on Mazinger and Getter Robo. Some people say that after the modifications it still feels weird to them. I must have been some stubborn old timer on the development team who insisted on starting this project. The more I think about it, the more curious I get. I'll just ask the designer directly.
What we actually want to do is break free from the homogenization of top-tier IPs and dig into the lesser-known classics from the golden age of super robots. Daitan 3 is actually a pioneer of battleship combination robots, and its recognizability is truly one of a kind. However, it has long lacked a high-quality model. We hope to fill that gap with craftsmanship, paying tribute to the nostalgia of veteran pilots, while also allowing the new generation to witness the unique wildness and passion of retro mecha.
For other IPs from the same era, like Combattler 5 and Voltes V, you can easily find information all over the internet, but there are very few materials about Daitan 3. So in this episode, I'll introduce it to everyone in the most straightforward and direct way possible. To appear together in this picture means it's either a pioneer or a legend. The dragon-shaped battleship is Daitan 3. Only after the carrier aircraft combines with the dragon's head does it become the king of braves. This is the mecha design depicted for this monster, and it can be considered a representative of the super robot genre pioneered by Toei at the time, featuring a main body that combines with a battleship. It also reflects the era's fascination with battleships. It's a form of artistic expression that unites and weaves things together. So, the battleship is designed to be 400 meters long and weighs 38,000 tons. Its photon power engine allows it to reach the speed of light in space, fly at Mach 3 within the atmosphere, travel underwater at 120 knots, and dive as deep as 20,000 meters. It has a crew of 68 members, truly a super fortress. So even when the beast is depicted in the most modern way, it still retains the design language of an ironclad barrel. This form is set to be 50 meters tall, weighs 220 tons, and can move at Mach 3. I know these specs can't compare to those over-the-top machines with black hole engines, but for that era, these parameters were already extremely impressive. The pilot is Jirushiro, but why does he have to fight aliens? The evil army led by Emperor Darius, a cosmic scientist, has already begun invading Earth. For the peace of humanity, don't give me that. I might never get to play baseball again in my life. These alien bastards, whatever they're called, let's take them down. It's just that simple of a reason that kicks off a story about protection. Kaio's design is extremely unique, even a bit cult-like, but as for a mecha with an actual face, it was really after this one that the concept became popular. Who comes to your mind? It's as if only the most basic signature features were kept, while everything else is presented with lines that best fit current aesthetic tastes. That's why we see a lot of mechanical lines on the product, kind of like the difference between G1 Optimus Prime and the live-action movie spin-offs. Back in 2010, the official team released a live-action CG movie trailer, claiming to have used the same light stage scanning technology as Avatar, which gave it an incredibly powerful texture. MoShow, on the other hand, brought this development approach to their products, while also incorporating the earliest color schemes from the original animation. However, the paintwork is done entirely in the latest craftsmanship style, and the final product looks fantastic. The original animation aired in 1976, and its combination of a theme with a battleship model inspired many later mecha works. 3 years later, that blue character appeared, and the alarm sound of the white base was exactly the same as the alarm sound of the Daiku-Maryu battleship. In 2005, Toei released the new Daiku-Maryu Gaiking as a reboot with a completely revamped setting, but it still retained the most classic design elements. And MoShow's version of Gaiking is also developed based on this design, but the body proportions have been adjusted for a more aesthetically pleasing look. After all, MoShow has previous experience developing Getter, so even though it's still a barrel-shaped robot, you can immediately sense its modern feel. The new mecha uses Zamanayam alloy, stands 70 meters tall, and weighs 220 tons. The pilot, 13-year-old Daishi Shiroku, has crimson flame powers required to pilot Gaiking. Unlike the original's nuclear and photon weapons, these reflect different eras, yet the life-risking stakes remain essential to super robot stories. Compared to the earliest official illustrations, the colors have been adjusted significantly. The fully painted configuration is exquisitely detailed, and the more intricate interlaced lines highlight the mechanical assembly feel between the modules. The mask design emphasizes a fierce look, and the massive horns on the head resemble intimidation organs found in the animal kingdom. The overall color scheme is rather understated, but the striking red on the Shifang Shuriken and the winged backpack brings back that signature Super Shin Naguji flair. What score would you give this design? It stands about 22 centimeters tall at the shoulders and nearly 25 centimeters from head to toe, placing it between the excellence and ultimate grades, but the main body weighs 640 grams. I'm really curious, what exactly is different about the artisan grade?
Our ultimate grade focuses on exceptional craftsmanship and top-tier collectability. The excellence grade, on the other hand, takes a more universal approach with high-cost performance. The artisan grade is specially designed for the licensed product series. It forgoes the massive size of the ultimate grade, comes standard with full paint application, detailed color separation, magnetic lighting modules, and so on, with a focus on refining the product's solid and substantial feel. It aims to create a balanced and highly adaptable collecting experience.
Is it posable? The answer is absolutely. The head and feet can move independently. The neck features a ball joint with 2 segments, and the back of the head is recessed, allowing for excellent head articulation. The dragon's torso is designed as external armor, which provides some clearance for movement. However, due to the shape, even when you bend the waist, it doesn't really look posable. There's just no way around this. Removing the chest armor reveals plenty of internal details, and of course the dragon's lower back is also detailed. The arm articulation is completely unrestricted. The upper arm and forearm can rotate horizontally, seamlessly blending into the design. Especially noteworthy is the butterfly joint. Not a simple extension structure, but rather integrated into both sides of the torso. The product also adds a swivel joint to the arms, which is quite interesting. Remove the arm and attach the launching, leaping shoulder to recreate King Kaiser's crushing flying fist. This was pretty much a standard feature for early super robot models. To make it look more realistic, King Kaiser was also given a rope retraction mechanism. This is pure physical impact, which fits perfectly with the narrative role of a giant hero. Even up to this episode, it still plays an important role. When the dragon head's armor is removed, the internal mechanical structure is revealed, recreating the face-open state, which is what we now call full power mode. Robots that use this feature inevitably suffer from the drawback of not being able to sustain overload for long periods. Deciding when and where to use it has become an art of piloting. The new King of Braves unleashes 4 times its facial power at the cost of its own life force. For a brief moment, you can see the King of Braves with its chest armor blown open, resembling a heat sink in appearance. In addition, this mode also requires swapping out the faceplate. I personally prefer this look. The Dragon Fangs have simple articulation, mainly to allow for movement and clearance. The hip joints in the lower body can be unlocked for obstacle avoidance, and the range is quite impressive. The entire lower body can lift its legs forward, backward, and sideways with ease, and when bending the knees, the outer thigh armor moves in sync. It's worth mentioning that extra stretching space has been added to the ankles, so the grounding is excellent, though you'll need to adjust the direction of the ankles more often. To install the backpack, you need to remove the cover piece. The wings have simple articulation, and personally, I really like the linkage of this thruster nozzle. Although this is an old veteran mobile suit, the product's design still feels very Warcraft inspired.
Our core is to pay tribute to the classics and to reinvent the retro. We drew deeply from the mecha designs in the anime, retaining core elements from the original such as the dragon head and leopard armor, while reimagining the details with a modern aesthetic and optimizing articulation. We also wanted to convey the purity and subtle sensitivity of classic mecha. With this meticulously crafted model, we are setting a high standard of quality for future licensed IP series products, delivering both playability and top-tier craftsmanship in painting and detailing.
As for accessories, there's the Kai King Battle Axe, Kai King Shield, Kai King Spear, Miracle Drill, and a Crimson Cape. Overall, that's quite a few pieces, though the melee weapons themselves don't have particularly unique designs. In the story, the Miracle Drill is a heavy assault weapon housed in the mothership's launch bay. For the toy, it can be attached to the hand. Doesn't it look a bit familiar to you? This kind of rough, forceful assembly is also a hallmark of the super robot genre. The drill is equipped with a built-in magnetic light module, making it the coolest looking weapon of them all. It can also be attached to a long-handled weapon for a handheld style. There's even a swivel joint here, but you can only move it manually. After removing the outer armor at the back of the neck, you can attach the cape. The fabric texture is really nice, but there are only wires on both sides. Actually, embedding a figure-8 shaped wire in the middle would help it hold its shape even better. I've already given this feedback to the manufacturer. Another unique feature is being able to take something off the body and use it as a weapon. The shuriken on the knees was made for this purpose. The color scheme is absolutely beautiful. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it the visual anchor of the whole design. With the 5D styled hands, you can really have fun posing and playing now. Special mention this time goes to the base. It's designed as a flip-top storage box. You can put all the weapons and accessories inside, and the urge to take them out and swap them around for play comes instantly.
Young towns are running on the midnight train. Back to back. Conscience leading back to back.
After playing with it overall, I can say that this great Sky Demon Dragon is already highly refined. The main IP is fully painted, the details are thorough, and it feels solid in hand. I have a strong feeling that this series is going to bring together a whole lineup of skeleton drawing robots. Alright, that's all for this episode's sharing. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a like and follow. And don't forget about this episode's giveaway, 1 box of the same Gaiking figure. Be sure to keep an eye out for my giveaway updates. This is Uncle Hua, see you next time. Bye bye!